Step-down baskets have become one of the major discoveries in the espresso world in the last year. According to tests by many YouTubers, they are characterized by higher extraction and overall better taste. Physically, this makes sense, given the deeper puck. There are many step-down baskets available on the market right now, including this one from AliKisscafe, which you can buy on AliExpress. In this video, I'll test this basket, make a few espresso shots, and share my thoughts on step-down baskets. At the beginning of the trend, I was skeptical about step-down baskets, not only because of their initial high price, but also because of the more difficult workflow and the need to purchase additional accessories. However, some time has passed since their popularity, and there are a lot of step-down baskets on the market. There's even a precise step-down basket from AliKisscafe on AliExpress, whose whole pattern reminds me more of standard baskets like VST. I bought it, along with a dedicated puck screen, for about $15, using coins and a coupon on AliExpress. Many people compare step-down baskets with precise high extraction hole patterns to more standard baskets that differ in hole pattern and overall build quality. In my opinion, this is a flawed approach, as the hole pattern significantly impacts espresso extraction. That's why I bought the AliKisscafe basket, as it most closely resembles the VST basket in terms of holes. Of course, it's not the same design as the VST one, but I think it's the closest. In this video, I'll only test the taste of espresso and also share my experiences with milk coffee, in my case, cappuccino. I don't have a refractometer, so the numbers won't matter here. Hey, I would be very grateful if you subscribe to my channel and like my video. It would help my channel grow. Thank you! The AliKisscafe Step-Down basket and EDP puck screen are made of stainless steel. The height of this basket is approximately 40.8 millimeters. The basket has an internal diameter of 58 millimeters to 49 millimeters, although according to my measurements, it's approximately 49.7 millimeters. Therefore, a 49.5 or 49.7 millimeter tamper fits best into this basket. It has 608 holes measuring 0.3 millimeters in diameter. For comparison, the 58mm VST basket has 727 holes. The basket is magnetic and can be used with, for example, a dosing ring. The puck screen is only 0.2mm thick, which is definitely too thin for me. I would expect at least 0.8mm, but in this case, it's actually too flexible and difficult to remove after extraction. The puck screen is not magnetic. For this espresso test, I'll be trying a medium roast Ethiopian coffee. It has flavor notes of chocolate, vanilla and flowers, and is characterized by high acidity but also moderate bitterness. In each test, I use the basic recipe, ratio 1:2, dose 18 grams. Each espresso is brewed with a gentle pre-infusion at a maximum pressure of 3 bar, after which the pressure is raised to 8 to 9 bar and gradually reduced to 6 bar at the end of extraction. I try to use the same workflow for each basket, although for VST I use the Umicot WDT tool, and for AliKisscafe it's a manual WDT. I brewed my first espresso using the VST basket. My grind setting on the Starseeker E55 Pro grinder is around 37.5. After grinding the coffee, I pour it into the filter basket, then use the WDT Umicot, the distribution tool, the flash tamper from MHW3 Bomber, and the puck screen, also from MHW3 Bomber. The extraction time was 30 seconds, and the maximum pressure was around 8.5 bar. These beans works well in milk-based coffees, but as an espresso, it's a bit too acidic and has a moderately bitter. I think it's a bit out of balance here, as the acidity is definitely dominant, but that's mainly due to the beans used. A higher ratio, say 1 to 2.5, would probably be more suitable for espresso with these beans. Interestingly, It tastes very good in milk-based coffees, but I'll talk about that in another part of the video. For the AliKisscafe Step-Down basket, I have to use the manual WDT and the MHW3 Bomber 49.7mm flash tamper. It fits perfectly. The workflow is more challenging than a regular VST basket because I have to make sure all the coffee grounds are contained within the 49mm part. I think the easiest solution would be to use a blind shaker in this case. It wasn't until my 4th attempt that I managed to get the grind setting reasonably accurate. The first 3 extractions reached too high pressure and too long extraction times, up to 40 seconds. I have to admit, you can grind much coarser with this basket than with the VST. In the case of the E55 Pro, I had to set the grinder 10 levels coarser, so around 45 or 46. The extraction seems quite stable, taking 28 seconds, which is slightly shorter than with the VST basket. I achieved similar pressure, around 8 bar at peak. The differences in taste are indeed noticeable. The espresso is slightly less acidic and has a noticeably more bitterness. I think this makes it a bit more balanced. But is it a significant difference? It's hard to say. I'm not convinced. I noticed that the crema in the espresso from the AliKisscafe Step-Down basket is thicker, and the body is also a bit heavier. In this case, the espresso is indeed better from this basket, but I think I would have achieved similar results if I had used the DEX basket, which also provides a bit more bitterness. I also want to quickly share my observations about milk-based coffees. I like my cappuccino to have a high sweetness, without the need for syrups, honey or sugar. I've noticed that the higher acidity in espresso, combined with milk, creates this sweetness. That's why I enjoyed the coffee from the VST basket more in cappuccinos. There's one thing that, in my opinion, is also very important: the mess that results after extraction. Due to the large headspace, a lot of water remains in the basket after extraction, causing a wet puck. Unfortunately, the manufacturer did not include any spring that would remove the remaining water after extraction. The AliKisscafe puck screen isn't magnetic, so I can't remove it with my tool. I have to remove it along with the puck. This makes a lot of mess, which, combined with the difficult workflow during puck prep, means that I can't imagine using this basket as a daily one. But I have to admit, the idea of smaller diameters makes sense. It just needs to happen directly in espresso machines. I think over time, more and more manufacturers will decide to change their group designs. Maybe 51mm or 53mm will be the new standard? We'll see what time brings. Overall, I think the step-down basket from AliKisscafe is a pretty good choice for a beginner. It's inexpensive, has, according to the manufacturer, precise holes, and isn't a high extraction basket with very small holes, so you don't need to use filter paper on the bottom. However, the workflow and overall flavor results don't quite convince me to make it my daily basket. I think I'll test more baskets of this type in the future. Thanks for watching this video. Of course, I encourage you to discuss in the comments section. I'm curious to hear your experiences with step-down baskets. See you in the next video.